Hey there, Zoe with Vine Skills, and I want to walk through the contingency workflow in Filevine with the QuickBooks Connect integration. We have 3 sections that are used for the integration that we will put into your Filevine. If you are already live in Filevine, we can build some of this off of what you already have existing so you don't lose any of your historical data. The first section here is expense request. Here we'll go and add an item and we can push 3 different types of hard costs over to QuickBooks. We can do a check, a credit card, or a bill. These will all be configured to your default operating account. The third option here is soft cost, and by definition, do not push over to QuickBooks, but we still allow those to be tracked here for your convenience. Here in our expense type, we can make that selection. So check, we'll go ahead and push this over. We'll do, let's do $5.75 and we'll send it over to Seox. So here, if you have an existing vendor in QuickBooks that matches this identically, it will go ahead and push it over to that vendor. If you do not have a vendor that matches this, the integration will go ahead and create a new vendor in QuickBooks for you. We push over the description as well as the memo and a supporting document here. So you could attach an invoice or a receipt if you've paid by credit card. We'll go ahead and select yes to create the transaction in QuickBooks to push this over, and no to create the billing item. If you are contingency only, you can ignore this here. You won't have this in your section. If you also do a mixture with time and billing, this will be applicable for you and allow you to push this expense item directly into the Filevine native billing section as an expense, and you can invoice from there. We'll go ahead and create this entry, and you'll notice down here at the bottom, we're not going to edit these fields. They will edit for us automatically. We'll go ahead and create that. If I go to QuickBooks and refresh, I'm going to navigate to my expenses. Let me give it another refresh here. There we go. Here is my check for $5.75. Checks pushing over from Filevine will go to the print queue, and you'll be able to print those or make any edits in QuickBooks as you need. If we go view this, you'll notice we're hitting again that default operating account. We're going to hit our advanced case cost category. Our description is here, our memo is here, and we're also tagging that client or customer. You'll notice the numbers in the squiggly brackets. That is always going to be our Filevine project ID found in the URL. You can also pull it into the vitals or you can report on it. So that is what we use to connect the project to the customer. And that's going to allow us to get a running total of case costs for this client. So if we go back to QuickBooks or Filevine and we refresh here and go down to that status, we get a status of created and a last update date and time stamp. So again, this is pushing back from QuickBooks. Once that check is printed, it'll navigate over to the printed status and we'll get a date of the check and the check number here as well, pulling back. For credit cards, we capture the date essentially that the card was swiped. And for bill, you will also enter the due date. This allows the user in QuickBooks to pay at their method of preference. And bills are also compatible with QuickBooks Bill Pay tools and Bill.com if you use those as well. Similar concept to this, we have our trust check request section. So this will only pull from IOLTA, whereas expense request is pulling from operating. We're going to capture that amount, the payable to, the description, as well as the memo. We can attach our settlement statement here and create that transaction in QuickBooks. If I go back here, you'll see we have a handful here already hitting our default offset account, so trust liability. And if we go look at that here as well, it's going to tag that associated client. In Filevine, we have our third section, QB accounting. And this is where you'll see the total of case cost or total trust balance for this client only. It's not going to show your balance for your whole operating account or your whole trust account. So only associating with this client. We also get a detailed transaction report for case costs as well as trust, as well as a last update and date and timestamp here. I do want to mention quickly before moving on, our trust check request section by design is not meant to track deposits. Deposits should only be entered in QuickBooks, and this section is only for disbursements out of trust. The balance here will then reflect when a deposit has been made in QuickBooks. So if we go ahead, we'll use the trust as an example here and open up that detail report. It displays as a download. We'll open that in Excel. And here's that detail report for trust. The case costs would look very similar, but you'll notice here on trust, we're getting those deposits. So users in Filevine can see when the money has been cleared. They can also see when a deposit or something has been paid to confirm. So if a provider were to call and say, hey, where's my check? The user in Filevine can take a look here as well. Same concept again for case costs. So when you're ready to settle, you can attach this detailed report to your settlement memo and send that to the client for signing. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please let us know.